Yay. Yay. Uh, uh, uh. Ah,
What you need? Cheers.
Oh, damn.
Ding.
Shit. Maybe I'll get it for the second half.
That'll be a good idea.
That's good.
Well, remember when we're drinking wine? We're like, it's more chill. Relax.
I love it.
I'm gonna get Blaze on the third segment, maybe.
Cheers, you queers. It's From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, and drinking in general. My name is Paxton. This is Clint Moses. we got Kelly, Sunset Kelly on the ones and twos over there. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Cabernet weather.
It is 100% Cabernet weather.
Where did I get that phrase? Well, that is what Clint yelled at the top of his lungs if it was the score of the Georgia game. Listen up, motherfuckers! Cabernet weather.
That's the energy you bring to Cabernet weather, too. Let's go, Cabernet weather.
This is a fine Cabernet, though. Could you describe it to me?
This is the Duckhorn Decoy, so it's kind of like their entry-level cab. And Duckhorn Winery is one of the most popular wineries in Napa Valley. They've been making wine there since 1976.
Entry level, as in how your palate can understand it, or the price?
The price. The price
gotcha.
point, it's a blend of the grapes they don't use for their higher-end Napa cabs.
Ah.
So it's all their own grapes. They source their own stuff. They're not, borrowing grapes from others.
Yeah, listening to our friend Joe Rogan's podcast with our other friend
Thanks for listening, Joe.
Maynard James Keenan, he talked about how there's a lot of wines like the Snoop Dogg wine and the 13 Thieves.
Yeah.
They just buy a bunch of other runoff wine and mix them all together and call them like California Reds.
Yeah, and that's kind of what a ton of wineries source grapes from elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then blend them all together, which makes it feel a more affordable wine.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, one of the most popular Pinots in the world right now is in the country is Mayomi Pinot Noir.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And like it's just barely a Pinot Noir because you have to be 85% of the grape to say you're that grape. But They got all kinds of other stuff in there, which why people like it because it's technically it's got a bunch of Malbec in it.
Oh, that's great.
And they kind of change it up for vineyard or for vintage. But it's easy drinking Pinot. I mean,
that seems like a good business.
Too sweet for me.
I don't know, like hack. Maybe almost like our new segment, Life Hacks with Pax.
Life hack. Let Clint finish his story before you go, because I have no more Duckhorn information. So I did a Duckhorn wine dinner at Ruth's Chris in 2012. They were debuting their Chardonnay around the country. They had not made a Napa Valley Chardonnay yet, so we had a wine dinner kind of around that. And they had all their other wines as well. And I got into what ended up being the reason I got terminated from Ruth's Chris because I pissed the chef off because he started as a dishwasher, worked his way up to chef. No shame in that, but he didn't have any formal training, and he didn't know shit about wine. He was younger than me, and I was the youngest head server. And so we got into it because he wanted to pair with the Chardonnay duck. And while that doesn't work, he thought it would be kiki because it's Duckhorn. And I was like, but this doesn't work. And like that was my wine to pair was the Chardonnay. And so like I was like, look, this is not going to work. Like it's overpowered. It was like a duck with like a plum sauce too. So it was just would have just wrecked the wine. I'm like, we're not going to do this with the people that make one of the most popular Napa wines on the planet. We're not. Why? Why would we ruin it? Like, hey, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. Here's this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, there's no F counter today, huh?
I got it in my head.
That's
right?
two. That's one for me, one for you. You're going to cheat, though. I want to recount. Yeah, so we did Duckhorn Winery, but that's I think I may have told this story, but he ended up like coming after me after that. And like at Ruth's Chris, when you're getting a lot of good superlatives, you would be higher up. So once they he went upstairs. This is not his job. He tapped, if you tap salt and pepper shakers together enough, you'll get where you can see the top. He wrote me up for that after I had done it. And like I didn't, squeeze every molecule of salt and pepper in there. So he went after me. So I'll tell you what I did to his wife on the Patreon.
Hey, what a tease for the Patreon.
So yeah.
And so you came to so it was your wine to pair.
Yes.
And he sort of undercut you.
Yeah.
And
but he didn't undercut anybody else. Just me, because I was the closest person in age to him. So he was trying to, and he wasn't terrible. He ran off our sous chef, who was awesome, who would cook for us every day and stuff, and like use the scraps and shit. The only good thing he did do, he came from their Charlotte store. He had them put a dope stereo in the kitchen.
Oh, nice.
And so at the end of the night, dude, you could hear it through the whole restaurant.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because it was downstairs.
Well, the thing is, all right, there's something to be said for it. Some of the best cooks, chefs in the world came up through those ranks from dishwasher to wherever.
Exactly.
And on the line, you're not going to find anyone better. But there are certain things that you do not learn when you're busting your ass cooking all the time.
Yeah.
Is all
If you don't go after it, you're not going to just learn it by accident.
And if you're a really good on the line chef, even though you are a chef, you're not out studying anywhere.
No.
Your ass is in the kitchen getting your ass handed to you.
Like you should be.
Every night. So, yeah.
Because the chefs that come up through classic methods of training tend to be the chefs that are expoing and then out. And they're there during the day and they don't stack. Our chef leaves usually about
they're
9.
writing the menu. They're doing research and development.
And then they have
stuff
trusted
like
cooks. And like I know some great chefs that came up that way.
Yeah.
But this guy was just a turd.
Well,
his name was Cody.
Yeah. Well, that is a life hack. If you want to end up a chef, you can start from dishwasher because I've seen a lot of people.
Marvin. God, what's his last name? He's the chef for the Hitch, that company. Hitch, Trailer Park.
Okay.
He was a dishwasher at Roost Chris and worked his way up to head chef at Roost Chris.
Right.
He had been locked up, unfortunately, because he dropped a bag full of rolls in front of a cop while he was getting off a train. But I mean, bag full, like 1,000 of them.
Oh, wow. Oh, do you know who else came up like that?
Didn't secure the bag.
Scott Jacobs. He started as a dishwasher, and he ended up winning 11 Emmys.
Yes.
Did you know that?
He actually started Duckhorn Winery
Yeah.
in 1976 when he was 20 or whatever.
So, yeah, life hack. Start a dishwasher. You can become something. That leads us into our new segment, which I'm going to edit out the one from earlier. It's called Life Hacks with Pax.
Life Hacks with Pax.
Life Hacks with Pax. So, I got a little life hack for you. As the weather is getting cold, as it's turning into Cabernet weather, some of us want to go buy some sweatpants and hoodies, you know? So I went and got some gray sweatpants.
Oh, yeah. And you don't wear underwear.
I don't wear underwear.
Ladies, my eyes are up here.
So guess what I did? I take them from the TJ Maxx that I bought them from, and I came home, and what do you do with new clothes when you bring them
You
home?
wash them.
You wash them. You know what you also should do? You should tie the little.
Oh, you didn't tie the strings together?
I lost the string out of both the hoodie and the sweatpants.
Well, I don't use the hoodie string. I get the hoodie string.
I don't
out
really
of there.
either, but I like it. It's a safety.
You like to play with it.
If I'm somewhere, I go.
Hoodie string swing. Hoodie string swing.
All right. So, and now, I don't know if you're not watching right now, you're really missing out because I came up here and really did a number on the studio today. We've got
because he doesn't want me to ever come in and feel comfortable because it's always changing. And I'm like,
yes. So here's another life hack.
Next week I'm gonna be on that side.
Another life hack from Pax. If you don't, all right. So I've been on a pretty decent exercise and diet regimen for about a month now, and I discovered something called pre-workout. And the first time I took it, I had a full breakdown panic attack because I didn't start exercising quick enough. Mm-hmm. Life hack, if you don't feel like exercising, go ahead and take that pre-workout. And then you get to decide whether you want to have a meltdown panic attack or work out. Because if you work out, you're fine.
Yeah, I had to quit taking it when I was younger because it was just too much for me. I already got a pretty fair amount of energy, so I drink like a half a cup of coffee before I work out. I was taking Inno Explode, and it would have me hours later just all like, I was just tense with everything. And like that time I wasn't as good at managing my time as I am now. Yeah. And I'm still, no one's perfect. But I would leave school and have to haul ass to downtown Savannah before the trip was finished. So like the stress of like trying to get home and shower and get to work on time. I learned that you need to just take some time and relax.
Well, I set a timer as soon as I drink it because I'm like, if I'm not exercising in 30 minutes, it's panic attack time.
Panic attack packs.
Along the lines of having a panic attack, you ever heard of an Irish goodbye?
No.
I have.
So, yes.
Respect me.
Okay.
I was trying to Irish goodbye.
So, if you ever want to leave somewhere without anyone noticing, life hack, Irish goodbye, which means you just leave without the ceremony of saying goodbye to whoever. Right. So, yesterday I'm at work, and a close friend of mine, Earl the Squirrel, he says, all right, y'all, I'm getting the F out of here. I was like, all right, man, see you later. About 5 minutes later, I hear, man, my ding-a-ling cold as fuck. I was like, what? He's like, man, I'm anemic. I'm really cold. I was like, well, go to the kitchen where the 500-degree oven is or go home. He's like, nah, I'm just about to leave. I was like, all right. 5 minutes later, he's like, all right, man, come give me some love.
Was this second love?
No, this is first love.
First love.
Yeah, I went and gave him a hug. He comes back and goes, man, listen, Pack.
How cold was his dingling when you hugged him?
Those gray sweatpants, you can tell. So then 5 minutes later, he's like, all right, time to get out of here. And he goes to like, give me a 5. I was like, all right, this is the last.
You. So
human contact that we're having.
You're getting 2 bless yous from me.
Cut to 5 hours later. My man is still there.
You left before him.
Complaining about how cold it was. So then I started thinking, I was like, this reminds me of something. So my buddy Kyle and I, the first time we worked in the kitchen, or the first time we worked together on a daytime, he was in the kitchen and I was on the floor on a Thursday. And one of our, someone else that works there was like, all right, guys, I'm going to see you later. And then she was like, well, that's me leaving. I mean, every iteration of goodbye
and
without
it's a certain
leaving.
kind of person that does that, or they're just hammered. I mean, if you're hammered and it's, you're not in your normal character, so I kind of get it. But if you're just a couple drinks in and like.
But what if you're sober at 11 in the afternoon?
Bye.
So I thought it was an inherently Southern thing. So I asked. So I was like, well.
The south of Ireland?
So I was like, well, no, the Irish.
The
lingerer.
The Roanoke Remainer?
The Roanoke Remainer. The London Lingerer. Yeah. The Tybee Two.
The Whitmarsh Won't Walk Away.
Savannah Sitter.
The Savannah Sitter.
The Savannah Sitter.
The Savannah Squatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So
the Tybee Teetotaler?
the Southeast Sea Aleda, where they never actually leave. So Kelly was talking about this. So he'll get a call to be picked up from a bar and.
Yeah, it's a little more time sensitive with what we do. If you're in a bar being a bartender, you can just linger as long as you want.
Yeah.
But Breezy, it's much better if you're waiting for us when we get there. But a lot of people
weird how that works to help your business. It's helping you.
But a lot of people want to walk the aisle, make sure everybody knows they're leaving.
The parade wave.
The Queen's Diamond Jubilee.
Wrist elbow.
Give some beads out.
Yeah, it feels like that. But
and if they miss one person, like, hey, you see I'm leaving?
Yeah. Or they're not ready at all.
Or run over there and hug them.
They got to do that to-go shot.
Oh, bro.
So
haven't paid their tab yet?
Yeah, that's...
Well, see, that's a whole other thing about just being an asshole. This is the person that just... And it's like,
they're,
say goodbye. That's fine. I don't say goodbye if I don't have to.
Never.
No. It might be a little bit.
You don't even say hello a lot.
So, the ceremony of leaving, and now when people are drunk, like you said, it's sort of a little bit of a different thing because they're like, they might have forgot that they were saying goodbye to someone. They're like, hey, did I tell Kelly goodbye? I don't want her to think I'm not safe or something, whatever. But then you got the other people.
And there's some people you have to say goodbye to, or they're like, "Will that be mad at me?" Or if you don't say hello to him, like I walked into my buddy V. Happy birthday, V. His birthday was this week, but he had a little gathering last night, and I got there, and my smoker had caught on fire, and that's a whole other thing I'm not going to get into, but it was a lot of stress for me while I sat there make sure I didn't burn my house down before I left. So I'm like an hour late. I've got all the meats. I've got 2 smoked ducks, 2 smoked chickens, 2 smoked beer can chickens. So I have the cooler in the car. So I need help to get it out of the car into the building. And so I'm calling on my way, like, hey, someone come meet me outside.
Someone receive me.
Well, I was trying to be like, bring me a shot outside, because I knew I was walking into like a lit group of people.
Yeah.
So you walk in, you're completely sober.
Yeah.
And everyone else has been drinking since 2 o'clock.
Oh, man.
And so I'm like, and everybody's like, oh, my God. And I'm like, I'm trying to get this food in here, and I'm trying to get a cocktail. And it's like blinders on. And you can't, because people are like, what's wrong, man? Oh, I love you.
That's the flip side. That's the entrance, the never-ending entrance.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's like, I finally was just like, I've got to piss move, and like, just ran through the house, came back around. Was like,
and if you have sensitive things like, I don't know, food or whatever, you're like, hey, let me just get this in.
Yeah, and you're late.
What the hell, brother?
Yeah, but it was a good time.
Ooh, we gotta think of, man. I didn't think about that side.
The intro side.
Yeah.
Speaking of intros, how's the ice cream supply at Huckapoo's? You guys got a lot of ice cream in there?
No, we don't have any ice cream.
It's weird because our shout out to Martin, who was coming over to watch the fight Saturday night, and was like, "What can I bring?" I was like, "When you stop at the Pooh and get a pizza for us, and get about 5 gallons of ice." So he messages me back and goes, "Do they have ice cream up there?" And I was like, "What do you need ice cream for?" He's like, "You said get some ice cream." I was like, and nowhere in that text did it say cream. It just said ice. Also,
this wasn't a phone call. This was a text.
A text. So he could review what the text was. Also, 5 gallons of ice cream? What in the F do you think we were going to get into?
You're having a party.
There's 3 people. It was me and Rob. It wasn't anybody else there. Fro was a maybe. And like, Like, what would we get? 5 gallons?
Imagine that.
5 pints of ice cream would be ridiculous.
And what if they were mint chocolate chip? It would be the worst.
I'm not lactose intolerant, but I don't eat just a lot of milk. If I ate a pint or 2 of ice cream, I would be having problems.
Oh,
but
man.
5 gallons? And then he forgot the ice.
he was too confused about
all that hubbub, and he forgot the ice.
The whole ice cream situation.
I was like, dude, come on.
When I was leaving work last night, I thought I saw someone trying to steal your guys' placards off of the tree from where you had a competition last week.
Oh, yes.
But then
I don't know if I would say it was competition. I mean, yeah. So shout out to Smoot. Her 18th baby shower was the weekend before last at Huckapoo's on a Sunday.
I was like, the kid's 18? He's not born yet.
It's been a while. No,
but yes.
It was last Sunday. Sorry, last Sunday.
Her 18th baby shower,
Yeah. And so Eric, as he does, designed games similar to when we'd run Bar Olympics. So we had to take the onesie off the baby, wipe it down, put diaper cream on there. Everything was brand new in this, so the diaper cream has that little silver tiny tab on there.
Oh, no.
It's hard to get. Well, I wasn't effing around. I just bit off the whole thing and squirted on there. And it's fun because Kyle's next to me. Kyle's looking over at me like he starts stressing out, and I breezed through this. So I won.
Yeah.
But I got diaper cream in my mouth, which is fun.
I was going to say, is it numbing?
It tastes better than baby's ass does.
Did they do it like a car seat in the breezy type?
Yeah, we had to put a car seat in the breezy, which is where I kind of hurt myself because I've never put a car seat in anything but the trash. And then you had to, and there were like 4 different car seats. And then we had to do the one event that I was not able to do because I have a wound on my foot. If you'd like to see it, ask me. I'll take my socks. You see me, I don't wear flip flops a lot. I've got a nagging injury. So he let Vinny, shout out to Vinny, do this event. This was a fun one though. On the White Rocks, barefoot, you have to walk through a gang of toys, a stuffed coyote, some tables,
Legos,
and they So they laid you down on an air mattress with blacked out goggles on, and they played the sound of a crying baby on a table 25 feet away through a speaker. Here's the thing: people are trying to cheer you on, but you know what you can't hear when people are cheering?
A crying
baby. And so that one was. Thankfully, they let Vinny do it for me, but it was a hard event to watch.
They made you prove.
They made me take off. I had to do the curtain shielding. I had to pull off my bloody sock and show them, and I was like, "You can touch it." And they're like, "No, it's fine." The judges allowed it.
The best way to not hear babies crying is to not have them.
Pull out. And then another event was you had to feed somebody. You picked someone in the crowd and you had to feed them. So I chose Vinny. I got first place in the Lego thing, first place in the baby changing, and then second place in pretty much everything else, which is, that's a win.
Yeah.
We had to chug out of a baby bottle. The 3 of them chose beer. There's 12 ounces of beer in a baby bottle. Jenna is like, what do you want? I'm like, I'll drink vodka, and tequila, or Tito's and water. You know what she brings me? Half Tito's, half water. And they're like, that's not fair. He's drinking water. I'm like, there's 5 shots of vodka in this probably.
You want to try this baby bottle, baby?
You want to trade? So, and shout out to Jeremy. We talked about him last week. He was like, just bite the nipple off. Like, oh, your poor wife. But I didn't realize about halfway through, if you bite it on it comes out better. But I was squeezing it, and I hurt my arm because I was squeezing so hard. And so, I got through that one. But then I'm like, I'm lit. I'd already had 2 drinks to kind of take the edge off. I'm like, well, I don't need anything but water now. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm messed up. And then we had to do the car seat thing. And then the final event was dad joke off. It fell kind of flat. But
okay, here's the thing. So the sound was kind of messed up all night. The thing about that night was
it was wet.
We were crunk busy, and then whenever the games would start, everyone would exit the bar. So I would have
and
I would have 15 minutes of respite, and then everyone would come back up at the same time. So there's all these sound issues. So by the time you guys got to the ender, the closer, the dad joke thing, and you guys were sitting on the stage, no longer down in the parking lot, I couldn't hear any of the jokes. Probably for the best.
I mean, it wasn't, and the 2 judges were inebriated more than anyone else. So they were like, and they couldn't. Eric's looking at them like that. He laughed, and they're like, I don't know. Let's get this moving. Because the first one round, mine's 21 jokes to get the other guy to laugh, to get Kyle to laugh.
And were they feeding you jokes?
Eric had handed you some, but I had a phone. But the people kept coming up and telling us jokes and trying to hand each other. It was just a mess.
That's a bad one to end it on.
Here's the thing. Lars is keeping score. Shout out to Lars, who was patient with me being like, you're not good at math, because he had some math issues, but it's okay.
That's not a shout out.
No. That is a call out. You're right. My bad, Lars. I love you. So, but we're going from event 5 to event 6. I am up by 4. You get 4 points first place, 3 points second place. I cannot lose because I'm up by 4. I'll get at least 1 point. Well, I was like, don't tell Eric. And Laura's like, I don't know, I'm going to tell him. And I'm like, don't. Then Eric goes, we're going to change the rules. You're double points for the final event. And I'm like, bro. I mean, not that like it mattered. I won it anyways. I won the final event. But I was like, dude, because I was just going to go up there and laugh and get it over with.
Yeah.
But then I won, which I don't have because I left my car at V's house last night. I won this creepy baby that I'm going to bring on here next week and had to do the Lion King thing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Smoot and I take pictures. I'm holding this baby by her belly. I get a few texts. Congratulations, Clint. I'm like, what? They're like, you're having a baby. I'm like, I'm not. They're like, well, Smoot's having the baby. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, we always thought y'all were going to get together. Like all this stuff.
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
amazing.
And I'm like, nah.
I was glancing around, and there were a lot of baby dolls there. You know. Then I look over, and one of these baby dolls started moving.
Yeah.
Someone brought an actual baby.
It was Chuck's wife. It was Chuck's newborn.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fake baby for like an hour and a half because it was so quiet and still.
It was so quiet and still. I watched this, like, many people come up to it and almost treat it like a baby doll. Like, check that thing out.
Whoa. Hey.
And then an arm went up, and I was like, Chucky. Wait,
Red Rum. The ginger baby.
But I was like, oh, what a cute actual baby.
Well, it was quiet. They didn't like my recommendation for the Lego event. I was like, just bang it against the table a few times and it'll cry for real. I didn't say that. So
you did say that baby diaper rash cream tasted better than something else.
Ass.
Rewind the tape if you want to hear what he said.
So
I won't repeat
I just
it.
want to say, so we're pulling out. I went and picked Fro up. We're coming in. The previous night was the Georgia Tennessee game, so I'd had a time. So I'm trying to recover from said time. And we're pulling up. We're in the shitty 2001 Honda CRV because it's going to take a nap there if I get drunk. And we're listening to Radar Love as we're coming in. And I was like, dude, I want to come in and like spin wheel in the parking lot, do a full donut.
In a 2001 CRV.
Grab Smoot, kiss her on the lips, squeeze her titty, grab one of those fake babies and kick it off the porch and go, I'm about to win this shit. Instead, I went up on the porch and sat down in a puddle of water. So then I'm wiping my own ass before it starts.
I remember you came up, you go, hey, what's up? I was like, hey, man, you good? He's like, yeah, I just want a drink. I was like,
No, you called me because everybody was trying to. Cause here's the thing. It's Thai beat time, so it starts at 7. So I'm like, okay, I'll get there at 7:10. And so at 7:10, I'm trying to find parking this crowd parking lot. 3 people have called me. You're the last one as I'm parking the car, so I answer and go, what?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man.
I was
like,
hey,
sorry, this has been annoying. Can you make me a drink right now, and I'll be right up there? And he's like, oh, yeah, of course.
So,
and I chugged that mofo.
So typically, Clint brings his own styrofoam cup because he's a man of preference. He likes what he likes. I get it. If you bring your own styrofoam
and I recycle.
cup,
That's the only thing I don't like about it.
Do you think?
I eat it when I'm done with it.
So he goes, I just need a drink. I was like, okay then. So I don't make it because I think he's bringing a styrofoam cup up. And then when he walks up, I was like, sup? He goes, I want a drink. I was like, well, where's your cup? It was like the complete miscommunication.
Well, and the thing is, I go over the porch, like, oh, we don't need y'all for like 15 minutes. I'm like, why are you blowing me up?
Hey, it's like Hollywood, baby. Hurry up and wait.
Waiting on Fro was I was like, hey, I'm running behind. But can you be outside? Sure. About 3 minutes later, I start hitting the horn. I'm like, yo, like, we got to go. He's like, oh, he gets on in. He's like,
the horn works in the CRV?
Yeah.
Does it go?
Yeah.
Does it go?
Some Honda horns right there. There's like, meep. Yeah. Nothing's worse when you're in like a rental car and you honk the horn the first time. And you're like, did one of my testicles just leave me? I no longer have any strength as a man.
I've been castrated.
Well,
by a car horn.
Some of the first breezes we had didn't have a horn. So imagine being a cab driver and not being able to let people know.
Wait a minute. That seems like that would be a bylaw in the International Federation of Cabbers.
The 6 and the 7 car have them, thank God, because before there was no way to let anybody know.
Did you have the old cop spotlight or anything? Did you shine it in people's windows?
It would work sporadically.
I
used to have a supply gentleman who, in the early 2000s, he bought an old cop car. Thought it was the safe way to deliver what he was delivering.
Yeah.
Still had the spotlight on it. How he got arrested selling dope was he pulled up on some hot girl with a fat ass and shined the light on her. I was like, let me see that booty, girl. And a cop rode by and saw him doing this with the old cop car. FYI, you can't do that. And the cop pulled him over, searched him, and found enough to where he was in there for a long time.
If they're repurposing police cars, why would they leave the thing on there?
For taxis.
Oh.
You buy a police car at an auction, it looks like absolute ass. They don't do anything to it. Really. They take the lights off.
Also in police auctions, whenever they resell dope boy cars, you ever seen those?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw literally, it was like a grandmother. She had 20-inch rims, and down the side it said rideordiemusic.com or something like that. And this is back in Brunswick too. Like,
That sounds about right.
Like 10 years ago, and I was like, did she steal the car? And then I was,
her grandson's
yeah. My grandson, he's an artist. His name's Little Booger.
I'll grab my bug bite.
She's bumping. It's got 212s in the back.
She's playing like Pavarotti. What's her name? Donna from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Said she talked about that one night she would stand up or something. She's like, I have a Lincoln with a booming ass system, and I'll be booming, and I'll pull up to a stoplight, and like, you know, an old white man look at me, and I'll roll it down, and it's like classical music and jazz, and they're like, oh, interesting. Some police like departments will take the dope man's car and like use it as a display vehicle. They'll be like, don't you sell dope? We're gonna take your car and drive it around. We're gonna let Honky Jim drive it. He's gonna be playing Garth Brooks' Murderer's best hits out the damn back.
Honky Jim.
Garth Brooks Murderer.
There was a lot to unpack in
The
that.
legend of Honky Jim. He had a cop car back, and his name was.
And he would never leave when he said bye. Well, I'm gonna leave and say bye now.
He was good at the Southern Sayonara. So
We won't Irish goodbye, you guys, but we'll be back.
So we're just going to see you after the break. All right. Well, looks like it's time for us to go. You know what? We ought to end this segment.
So,
you wanna get out of here?
My dick is freezing.
Oh, you know what, man? You know what we ought to do? We ought to end this segment. Hey, we're going to see y'all in the second half. You know what?
So,
yeah,
did you like the wine?
I like the wine. Man, you know what? I got to go, though. All right, we'll see y'all in the second half now. Hey,
check out our Instagram.
Yeah, we got an Instagram. It's Instagram.
Patreon.
But we're going to get on out of here.
Yeah.
Y'all see y'all in the second half. It'll just be a second. But you know what? Yeah, we'll see you in the second half. All right.
I'm gonna say goodbye.
He was gay. we were family guying it there.
And
Hey.
welcome back to From Behind the Barcast.
I was a little remiss in the last segment. I didn't thank the people that helped raise the money for Smoot's baby shower thing.
Okay.
That's going to go to her child's child care.
Okay.
We raised $1,000.
Hattie Pearl.
Hattie Pearl. It was the Hattie Pearl Big Brother Brawl.
Okay.
When the picture was us boxing, it was two people boxing. I was like, we're gonna box, and Eric was like, no. I was like, boo.
What?
Because I would have definitely dominated in boxing. It would have been over nice and easy.
That's false advertising. Like
But
saying you're going to
I got
leave.
headgear. I got all the stuff we need. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know either. That's not fair.
As long as Eric was in boxing, it would be fine.
I've got two decades of experience in boxing. I don't think Kyle throws a lot of blows. Stewart was like 55, and Sean's up there too. But
still, I mean, it could have just giant gloves.
Yeah, 18-ounce gloves and headgear. But I want to shout out Amanda, Fro, Heather. Everybody helped raise the money, did all the betting and stuff. Thank you guys so much. It was really, really helpful.
It was a fun, it was a good time.
It was a fun festivity.
So, talking about a fun night. So last Friday, I had a gig with my old friends, Ben Kaiser and Ryan Kelly, and we're playing our music. It felt good because I'd been and during my exercise regimen, I've been coming upstairs and actually practicing the drums instead of only playing exclusively when I have a gig.
Ooh, someone's good.
So I was like, hey, I'm going to practice. And I was doing all this practicing and stuff. Well, anyway, so we're playing the gig and someone asked to sing a song. And I was like, yeah. She goes, Paxton, I feel like you don't ever remember me. I was like, you're from... She goes, you've been my bartender for 4 years.
Oh, you do private events at her house?
Yeah. Okay. So this leads to the... All right. I don't care what your opinion of me is. I don't care what you think I am. Actually, the old Southern trope, I'd rather you think you're like smarter or better than me because typically that helps you in some sort of way.
Yeah.
I had this wily old uncle.
Uncle Wiley,
and he was such a smart businessman because in any business situation, he would slow the whole thing down and be like, now wait a darn minute. You gonna tell me I'm gonna get 20 cents on the dollar? You know, he would really...
That sounds like my Uncle Rusty.
Cracker Jim. What was his
Cracker
name?
Honky Jim.
Honky Jim.
Honky Jim.
But anyway, so but it begged a bigger question. It was like, okay, so if you had someone that says, "Oh, that's my bartender," meaning you're their favorite bartender,
Yes.
you're their favorite server, you're their favorite so and so, that's fine. In the context, if you want to get something from someone, especially a bartender or a server, you do not approach them being like, "You've been my bartender for 4 years. Why don't you remember me?"
Especially at like a bar where you're having hundreds of people a day sometimes.
Hundreds.
And so you think if you work 4 shifts, you're going to see almost 1,000 different people a week. And like if you're not sitting at your bar when it's slow in the winter,
Yes.
it's hard to remember somebody.
And I
If you're
remember,
just a summer person on Tybee.
I remembered the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But she's asking to sing a song of the band, and she was also acting upset. I was like, "Look, man, like I remember your face, and yes, you can sing a song, even though you
only get one drumstick though now.
even though you just literally like bartend shamed me.
Yeah,
in some
for
sort
not
of way.
remembering me.
Yeah.
What's my favorite drink?
Yeah.
And some people they're like, "What's my favorite drink?" But they have like 4 drinks they drink.
Yeah.
It's like, look,
I do have customers. They drink one thing during this part of the year and another thing during the other part, but that is rare that I know all of that. And I got to really like you, and you got to really be around. And that's not the type
or
of
you
person.
make an impression in a bad way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Joel.
But that's not the type of person that's asking you, "Aren't you going to get me my wintertime drink now?"
You know what that person sounds like?
What's that?
They almost
Sound
just like
Oh shit. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Oh, shit. We got Cracker Jim.
I need some readers. I need to get some readers on like a little string. No, I mean the old lady ones like that guy at Domino's
Yeah,
had.
the ones Kelly's got, right?
No, I'm talking like the squinty tiny ones with the little
with
beads
with the chain that goes
that
all
goes
the way
down to my waist, or a monocle. I don't know. So, as I do, I went to opening night of Wakanda Forever on Thursday at 10:20 p.m. for a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. You do your math as I do mine. We left there about 1:20 in the morning. It's weird walking out of the theater that late. It's the latest I think I've ever left the movie since I went to a midnight showing.
And you go out there to Pooler?
To the world's tallest IMAX with reserved seating in Pooler. I get tickets pretty early, like within usually 24 hours of going on sale, so I get the seats that I want. I wanted to do 10:20 so I could work the night and then go in.
Oh.
There was some sort of storm that we didn't need all the servers. Anyway, so we go. Fro and I do. And talking to him first. I was like, "Hey, let's go get a bite to eat first, because we got plenty of time now that I'm not working." And he's like, "Well, I don't know." I was like, "Let's go to Sam Sneed's and get this." We were trying to find the best burger. He's like, "Well, that's more like a date night place." I'm like, "This isn't a date night?" And he's like, "No, we're just going to the movie together." I'm like, "Well, I guess after 50 fucking movies together and opening nights at various places, it's not really a date. It's like a chore. Like having sex when you're married."
It's not a date,
And as that
bro.
sex goes, often one person enjoys it more than the other. Shout out to Darren sitting next to me in the theater. And you would think the primo seats would be like the people that are the most hardcore. But this guy was like, this is a sequel to Black Panther 1. It'll be cool if I bring a date that hasn't seen any Marvel movie at all. So so he's trying to like explain to her who people are, because she's like, and she's whispering, and he's not. And so after about 30 minutes, I'm like, "Hey, stop." Like, and I was like, "Talk when it's loud, at least." It's a loud theater.
He's doing a play-by-play for her. Like, okay, so in the last movie,
And the other movie was only 2 hours long. You didn't have time to watch that. First, it's 10:20 at night, for Christ's sake. So he's talking some, and there's other people in the theater that are talking, but they're saying things that are like, "Oh shit," or "Oh my god," or "Oh, that's so."
Exultation.
Yes, which laughter is the exultation, and sadness, gasping. That's the bit about it. No one needs your. There was some guy in the front who thought he was a freaking comedian, so they say a joke and like, but this guy, and like 45 minutes to an hour in, I was like, and I turned and looked at him and was like, "Yo." And he was a
very
25-year-old, younger, smaller guy, and I gave him the like, I will spank you, son, look. But he was Darren-esque. But I'll tell you what, I want to turn this into a positive show. Actually,
a turnaround. Wow. Okay.
It's so itchy. It's so itchy. I want to shout out Amanda Bridges, avid listener, Patreon subscriber, for coming in with 3 of her friends, or two of her other friends, for a girls' night out. Little black, sexy little black dresses. They all dressed up all nice and stuff, and had a very enjoyable dinner at Circa. Got him some good wine. Put a glass for myself on the table and drank some other. And I would pour like a half glass, a quarter glass, and let them try that and just tell them about what the wine was and what it paired with. Kind of give them a little.
Oh, so you paired the Chardonnay with the duck?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good,
You actually get the duck in the Chardonnay. We'll stir it around and then eat it. But you know what I got Amanda to eat? The duck.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Now, the most important question.
Appetizers. They get scallops, escargot, because the two of the girls never even had escargot. I was like, you got to get, like, I don't know, like, just get it. And if I made them order something that would require Sir Pepper.
My sir.
Sergeant, my Sir Pepper. We really got to lock down a name for this thing.
Yeah, no.
Sergeant Pepper, I don't know.
Pepper's pretty well.
But-
BBP.
So I said, black pepper, is that what you're saying?
BBP. Big black pepper.
I ain't down with OPP. So I said, ladies, I'm going to get some pepper for that French onion soup. And Amanda was like she could barely contain her excitement. And as I do, I walk up with it down to my side. And then I pull out my big sword. And they're like, that is huge. And I was like, you goddamn right it is.
Because that's what she said.
The John
I'm
Holmes
glad
of
she was
pepper.
able to contain it, though.
But it was fluttering. And I think her nipples got hard. She was like, oh, that's going to happen. It's happening.
I was like, because you were telling me the story a little bit the other night, and I was like, you brought out, my sir, you brought out the
Oh, yeah, I had to.
you brought
If
out
you
the
come
big
in-
pepper, right?
I'm gonna make you if I know you and you're listening to the show, I'm going to make you order a something that requires pepper. Or like, and now if I have like an A-top and they didn't get anything the first round, like they just got mussels and escargot and
Yep.
a cheese plate. When that dinner comes out, I just bring it out anyways because it's a conversation piece
Yep.
or whatever. and I want to. This is a general shout, or not shout out, but a little comment. Amanda apologized a few times for things she was doing that she thought were kind of kitschy and annoying because I've talked about them before. But when you come in and you're only out at a nice dinner once every few months, take pictures. Have a good time. I'll take your picture. I'll take my picture with you. I don't mind that. Just find the right time to ask that. And as you do, she called over our 22-year-old young gay male host and was like, hey, come take our picture. And I was like, good call.
Good call.
That's the guy.
Who do you think is going to be the best
The guy with
photographer?
50,000 Snapchat followers is probably good at taking pictures.
Yeah.
And so they had a great time, and they didn't do anything. You know, one of her friends was like, she's like, she eats really healthy. I was like, oh, when's the last time you went out to an upscale dining dinner? She's like, oh, it's been a few months. I'm like, do you plan on going out anytime soon? She's like, maybe around Christmas. I'm like, while out for this one thing.
Yeah.
Because she had ran a 5K before she went home and got ready for dinner. So she is very active.
She's got a few calories to gain. Man.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
get some potatoes, baby. It's
Yeah,
okay.
just yeah.
She's like,
Anything
I want
within reason.
to stub asparagus. I'm like, you're getting the fries still. The fries are delicious.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
to get the fries.
Well, that's good because especially people who aren't used to going out and having like big rambunctious dinners, as long as they're only there for about an hour or so, everything's fine.
They get uncomfortable after about
Things
an hour.
can turn a little sideways. So
Especially if they don't drink a lot. But like I kind of dragged their experience out because I'm glad that she came in because we had a rough opening to the day at 5:05. We have dry storage. The two main dry storage shelves, one collapsed into the other, spilling everything on them onto the floor. Thankfully, most things are in boxes and aren't breakable. The only breakable things are very easy to clean up. Capers and cornichons. The two
okay.
tiniest little shits.
Yeah.
So on an old 200-year-old brick floor
Yeah.
at circa 1875, that's 1875, for those of you that cannot figure that out,
Okay.
everywhere. And so someone walks upstairs and tells him, and he just like sighs, and the bar manager goes, go outside, I'll bring one to you. He didn't have to say anything.
What, a cornichon?
So he brings him a stiff drink, and I walk out there, and he's already starting to text the owner. I was like, put your phone down for a minute, chef. He's like, I was like, put your phone down for a second. I was like, you want to smoke 2 cigarettes? That's fine. I was like, you just own this 5 minutes of peace. This is the last you got for the night. And he's like, you're right. But those things are stored in oil, so the capers are. It was. I felt
that's
so
crazy.
bad for because he was in his best mood, and it was just like.
Do you guys
But
have?
then everyone was just tiptoeing. It was real quiet in the restaurant for like half an hour. Like everyone was being very, very nice.
I like that.
'Cause
Actually,
we like Chef Jeff.
Yeah. Do y'all have cameras back there? Could you possibly post it?
The cameras haven't been. They had the cameras before because we had someone who was thieving, and now they're just up, but they haven't. The light doesn't turn on anymore.
Oh, gotcha.
Crap! If you work there, don't steal from us. I'm charging the cameras next week.
Yeah, I'm charging cameras actually.
Yeah.
Don't steal the capers.
Yeah,
We need them for
don't
the
have
tartar.
a caper. The great caper.
Great caper.
But that
caper.
definitely helped me in my night because it was a pretty meh evening.
Yeah. So my Karen she looked like a lady who probably went out to a lot of nice dinners.
Ooh.
She looks like a lady who probably does the stay-at-home dad cocktail a lot
Yeah.
because she looked like not recently divorced, but in trying to get divorced, but
Separated.
Separated,
yeah.
but doesn't have an own account.
But she can't get away from it because she wouldn't have a place to live or any money because she's been so used to not doing anything for a long time.
This is
And it would be
Karen classic.
Yeah, it would be hard to re-enter the workforce in her condition, and her condition being fucking stupid.
Because the thing is, if you don't have any experience in anything, if you've been a stay-at-home
If you've
mom,
never had to problem solve anything.
Exactly.
And, like even a stay-at-home, she didn't seem like a mom
I mean,
to me.
you go retail, right? Because retail, anybody can do retail. I mean, not anybody can do retail. I know retail's a hard job, but
if you're not
an entry-level
problem solving
position.
day to day, and she didn't seem like a mother, and if she was, I'll adopt the kid. You know this. So she comes in, and she goes,
That's a bold statement.
and she goes, I want Chardonnay, and I know I only have one choice, so the Chardonnay. I was like, yeah, okay. So I
I
give
mean,
her
if you're ordering Chardonnay at Huckapoo's, my mom at least used to bring her own bottle.
right, yeah. If you so you know that we have screw top gallons of Chardonnay,
Gallons.
but you're still gonna come in here and poo poo the Chardonnay.
Can I get a Duckhorn decoy
Yeah,
Cabernet?
right.
What
Some-
vintages do you have?
So I'm like, yeah, sure. So I give it to her. She goes, what comes on the gyro? So I'm explaining this all, whatever. So
Do you go out of her way to say Euro when you just brought it back to her? If someone over pecans or pecans me, I just go to the other one.
Oh well,
And I hit it.
here's the thing.
Pecan?
Here's the thing. Any of my social subtleties would have been lost on her completely. So
Look, it's not for her. It's for those around her and you.
Yeah, right. But there's
I
no,
do something and people don't react. I'm like, I enjoyed that. I had a table the other night.
I say
out-
that every
brought out
time I
big
have
pepper.
sex. Yeah.
BPP? No, nothing. Nothing. No, the first table I've ever had, I think it was just like, that's normal.
But you still went in the back and went, "Ka-ching."
Oh, no, I just kind of, anyone carry pepper? And I pulled it up and they were like, no, thank you. I was like, potatoes? And they're like, no, we're good.
Oh, no.
And so I just kind of slowly backed away, staring at them like,
The dejection.
and guess what they were? Bland as her.
Oh, yeah. So
I can tell you're going to suck if you don't laugh
Yeah.
at pepper grinder.
So this lady, I can tell she's on a host of benzodiazepines, maybe a few opiates thrown in there. Hell, maybe some
Did she spill her purse? And it was she had to rake them back in.
Maybe some Nexium, maybe some fentanyl. I don't know. So she gets her food, and then she's got about half of her Chardonnay left. She goes, "Excuse me." Oh yeah. She goes, "Could I have?" I don't know. Another Chardonnay, please.
She forgot what it was for a minute.
I thought because
Did she fall asleep?
her eyes kind of went up towards the liquor shelf, so I was like, "Is she thinking about something?"
Can I have a
And
bullet?
now, normally, what I would have done is go Chardonnay to cut it in the middle.
But for you,
I drank that in. I let that moment simmer.
you just act like, what? Can I get a clean glass?
So, third Chardonnay in. She's got two other dead soldiers over here that she hasn't finished. So I don't feel bad about giving her another one and charging her for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She's already, whatever.
Did she
So-
eat the Euro or did she just take like 2 bites?
2 bites of the Euro.
Ah!
Of course.
I knew it!
So then we have the phone outside, and I don't answer it because I can't hear the damn thing whenever I do answer it. I
That
walk.
brand new phone?
If you don't know, it's a payphone, everybody.
They got one was from the day Paxton was born.
Yeah, repurposed payphone. So I go into the back or whatever to go pick up food. I come out. Guess who's on the phone?
Chardonnay Sally?
Chardonnay Sharon. And I'm like, she goes, "Hey, I don't know why you're calling." I heard her talking to someone. I was like, "Sharon." And I go, "Huckapoo's." They're like, "Yeah, could we get a to-go order?" I was like, "Okay, fine."
So she forced you into something you don't want to do
Yeah,
anyways.
well, yeah, yeah,
So you're sitting there covering your other ear.
I got to cover my ear, and she's in the back going, I was like, "Am I on DMT right now?" I wasn't ready.
I didn't
for
know
this.
that Sharon spoke Cantonese.
I shouldn't have drank a sip of her Chardonnay. So I
Start
go in the
watering
back.
down her Chardonnay.
So I go in the back and I get a pizza box that's already like folded. So we're about 20 inches here, and there's a little gap between the phone and I stuck the pizza box. between the phone and her.
That's all the instructions she probably needed. She was like, this is a complex puzzle I can't solve.
She must have escaped from the loony bin because she reached right around that sumbitch the next time the phone rang, picked it up again.
Did you hit her? I would have smacked her hand. I'm like, no.
I got the phone back, and it's Ashley, shout out Ashley, on the inside phone going, excuse me, stop answering and yelling into this phone. I was like, hey, Ashley, it's me. I'm hanging up. I put the pizza box. I was like, all I had to
unfold it and have like two.
It's like throwing a banana in front of a cartoon character. I just knew it was going to work. This is all I was going to need to do. You know what I mean? This was all I needed to do. It was the turtle shell at the Mario Kart. This did not work. She probably escaped from like, I don't know, level 3 max somehow to get there.
And I bet she was driving.
100%. She was by herself.
Probably a big SUV, and she gets into that.
I bet it was a giant SUV, and she fake put baby strollers in there or whatever. So when she gets pulled over,
a CO2 tank to blow into the breathalyzer thing. I got in the car with a guy one day, and he had a breathalyzer thing, and I was like, and we had been drinking together. He's got a 6-pack for the ride. And I was like, oh, well, we can't go anywhere. He was the AC guy. He goes, no, I got this. And he had it in the back. And he had it in a cooler with things around. He would heat it up. He would get it warm, so it was warm breath. And I was like, I don't think it matters the temperature. He's like, I don't know, but it makes me feel better. He reaches the back, and so we're driving. This dude I'm like 20. I should not have been in the car with this idiot, this truck. He didn't have a seatbelt on. He's got an open Budweiser in a can. There's like 7 cans in the back, like 4 on the front floorboard.
I wonder why he had a blow and go.
Yeah. And so he's smoking a cigarette, one hand, beer in the other hand.
With a tank of volatile gas.
Yeah, gas in the back. I am buckled up. I'm trying to get the other seatbelt over me also. And I'm like,
you found a helmet to put on?
We're on Abercorn doing 45. Well, that thing beeps. You know what you got to do when it beeps? You got to blow in it again. Oh. So puts the beer between his legs, which is one of those legs he was using to drive the car. He's got cigarette out the window, reaches in the back to grab the tank, haphazardly, not looking forward at all. I grab the wheel because I don't want to die. And he blows back and he's like, that's how it works. Ain't that great? And I was like, can we stop at the store? I'm going to get a cab from here.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I made it pull over and I walked to a friend's house. I was like, I'm not ever getting in the car with you again.
Wow. So if you have a blow and go, that's just another
Life hacks with Pax.
Life hack. Get yourself some compressed air.
You call them life packs. Life packs.
Life packs. I like it. Put compressed air in the back seat and blow it into your blow and
I
go.
hope they've gotten those things kind of reorganized by now.
Well, I wonder if when you said that he heated it up, I was like, I wonder if they dial it in where it has to be 98.6
I'm thinking
or
maybe
something.
like when you take a pee test.
Yeah.
I guess my a friend, I don't want to dox this guy. He had a guy that got fired from his job at Gulfstream because he failed a drug test. They usually let you get one. Like if you fail a drug test for, not if you're doing heroin or cocaine, they'll make you go to rehab for a month or whatever. If you get a DUI, you got to go through some stuff, but they'll give you one strike. Well, this guy was suspected of being a pothead and other stuff. So Monday's is drug testing day. So they came and got him for a drug test. And he's like, I'll be right there. And I guess he was prepared for this. So he had some urine. However, he had heated the urine to about 140 degrees. So when the guy took it from him, he was like, ah! And it was like, come here a second, and touched his forehead and was like, what? That's not your pee? He's like, yeah, it is. And they're like, nope. And they made him pee again, and it was like 3 things he was hot for. They fired him because it was his first time. But it was such a dumb, boneheaded try.
Sure, yeah. Did you ever have to pee pretty often for?
Yeah, I got the DUI. I almost ran head on to the cop. Patreon subscribers, you'll enjoy that story. But I almost hit a cop head on, then tried to get away in a 4-cylinder pickup truck, throwing a bottle of vodka out the window all the while long. More of that story on the Patreon from last week. So I got the DUI then. So I was in Thunderbolt drug court.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I had to pee, but I was stubborn and I kept smoking weed. But I would just chug. I mean, I drink a lot of water anyways. But I would chug a gallon of water for him, so I was just pissing water.
Yeah.
And so they would. One time she was like, "It's a little sketchy," but other times I borrowed urine from other people.
Well, so every time I peed,
tie your leg.
It didn't matter because I don't smoke weed and shit. So like anytime but I had to pee twice a week for like a month or something like that. The thing was,
that's where you stabbed a guy.
The thing was, you go in and there's a mirror that's just positioned in the right way
so they can watch you.
Yeah, so that the cop can stand behind you and watch you pee. There's nothing more demoralizing than drinking 8 gallons of water to try and get yourself ready to pee.
And you can't pee.
And then be unable to, and to be looking at your sad penis in the mirror.
Your dick is like hiding.
Your dick
and he's playing with his. So it's really weird.
He's got a raging semi.
It's like the guy, the big dick guy.
So I would go in there every time, and I would just be like, I drank a lot of water. And the guy's like, just come on, man. And I got like 40 people behind me. Or whatever.
And you know at least 3 people out there too. He's running into a homeboy. There's something nice about it. They're like, oh, hey, I haven't been fishing in, thank God, 20 years.
Yeah.
But I had a female the time where I wasn't in Thunderbolt, so they wouldn't come watch me pee. So they would just get to go in there and they'd have running water.
This was like a cattle call thing. It was like we showed up to a building and there's like,
you guys?
There's like 20 of us.
Was it the one over there on Farm Street?
No, it was
By the gym?
Savannah Impact Program.
Or what it used to be?
Yeah, but nothing is more demoralizing than looking at your sad penis that can't pee.
Well, most people just take the cleaner, so you're clean for like 6 hours.
Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't even have to worry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You had no concern? But you started getting nervous anyways? Did I smoke weed? Did I forget?
Stage fright.
Yeah. And see, I can pee. All right, I got a buddy. Nick. I'm not going to tell you his last name.
Nick.
But we're going to Bonnaroo, and in Bonnaroo, this is like the 2nd or 3rd year of Bonnaroo, so it's super big and popular. And there's a very long line to get in. You got to pee somewhere. So we were all running to the tree line to pee. Nick would go every 20 minutes, and we'd start pulling away, and he's like, I can't pee in front of all of you guys. I'm like, you're a half a mile away.
Yeah, just go.
On a tree line. But I get it. Like,
when I use the VIP bathroom at a certain bar that has a long walkway behind it, when it's around like duskish, there's like that time, okay, I can go out here now. But like when it's real busy, I'm like, I don't want a kid to walk up on me while I'm doing it. So then I get like look around fright.
Yep.
And then you're like, well, I don't want to look at my phone and illuminate my face staring.
So I can always get started in the executive bathroom at the place that you're as aforementioned place. I can get started.
That's the one thing we don't want to dox about.
But I'll never finish because even if someone's not coming, I'm like, I push, and then I'm like, I gotta cut it. Someone's coming.
We can cut it off.
Right? Yeah. I can cut it. I never let myself finish when I'm at said place on said ramp. So then I saw this meme the other day. And it was this guy had like he had dribbled on himself, and I was like, I too dabble in dribble. I literally I don't wear underwear, so I literally wear certain colors of shorts when I work, so that I can quick pee and not have to worry about too much shaking.
Yeah,
because I can shake it until Andre 3000 shows up.
If you don't have,
and I'm gonna dribble.
And if you're peeing outside, you're usually trying to make it. You're zipping. You're pulling out the least amount of things, so you're not comfortable.
For me, yes, the least amount.
Or you put your pants all the way on the floor.
Like a kindergartner.
You know, also is a very kindergarten move.
Yeah.
Stop doing Venmo requests for your birthday, you losers.
Yeah.
It's getting out of hand.
Man, I took a picture of one the other day as I was driving by. That Cabernet, woo. As I was driving by, and I was like, "Oh, I'd totally forgotten that people do that." And this was
because it's kind of died out some.
It has.
If it's Venmo me money fundraiser, need a kidney. Okay, you're speaking of pissing, yeah, we're okay with that. Or it's passable. But when you live in the area here and it's highly shamed and frowned upon by other locals, and you do it anyways. It's just kind of a little...
But it seemed like for a long time...
It kind of died out some.
Yeah.
I think we shamed some of the locals in the area.
Maybe.
Enough.
But anytime you see... most times when you see it, it's an out-of-town plate.
And feel free to send us pictures still. I like to post them.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Here's the thing. I almost get in wrecks sometimes. I don't take as many pictures as I should because I'm typically driving. And I did do a whip around to get it the other day. I saw one on a bike ride with Allie. And I was just like, we're on a nice bike ride.
I don't want to ruin it with work.
Yeah, I'm going to. She's like, don't bring work to our date nights. I was like, I'm always at work, baby.
That's my secret. I'm always working. Because I'll tell people, they're like, what are you doing? Like, working? They're like, you're on your phone. I'm like, just leave me alone. It's not the thing for work. Because I'll get an idea, and I have to walk away. Be like, where are you going? I'm like, I want this idea out. Because you won't remember it correctly.
If I don't immediately write whatever down that I'm thinking about, like in the middle of my pre-workout.
You're writing down. Oh, I'm having a
I was
panic
like,
attack.
whoa.
I like writing them down at 1:30 in the morning, and I'm looking back. I'm like, what in the hell was peanut butter salad tossing or something?
Cracker Jim.
Cracker Jim.
That's not his
Honky
name.
Jim.
Honky Jim. The legend of Honky
The legend
Jim.
of Honky Jim. You know what Honky Jim probably drinks though?
What does he probably drink?
Diet Coke.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Maddie,
Okay.
listener, loyal listener, one of the Williams clan. They're the most listening clan. Not to be confused with the Honky Jim's clan. That is a different clan.
And we appreciate you.
We appreciate you, the Patreon subscribers. Please subscribe, patreon.com/behindthebarcast. From Behind the Barcast.
From behind the bar.
I don't know where I work. But she sent me a thing about, she was like, did you know Diet Coke gets you drunk faster. If you drink Coke, Diet Coke and rum and regular Coke, Diet Coke will get you drunk quicker because it breaks down faster. So the alcohol gets in your body quicker. But you know what gets you drunk the quickest is a mixer?
Water.
Gatorade.
Oh.
Electrolytes.
Did she hear
Bond
that from
to the
Martin?
alcohol. From who?
Martin.
No.
He goes, you really think they landed on the moon? And do you know Diet Coke gets you drunker quicker?
No, it does. She is correct.
Okay.
It makes sense physiologically.
Well,
as does the Gatorade, because the first time Clint got drunk, it was on Gatorade
I think mine
and
was,
vodka, and then I puked it up.
I think mine was Gatorade, Scotch, vodka, tequila, whatever was in
Oh, yeah, I
my
did that.
parents' thing.
I did that. I didn't get drunk that time. We just put a little bit of everything in the bottle, in the jump bottle.
Well, the thing was, you didn't want your parents to notice
You
too
took a little
much.
bit of everything. You made a suicide of liquor.
Yeah, suicide of liquor, literally.
Here's a terrible island iced tea. A lonely island iced tea.
Vomit Island.
Dude, because I would pretend, I would like squirt it out on the ground. I was like, yeah, I'm drinking, yeah.
Well, see, I've never typically mixed mixed drinks for me are bourbon and water, or it was vodka soda or tequila
yeah, I
soda,
used to
something
do
like
bourbon
that.
Coke, and ginger.
But I would drink sodas on my own time. But now I haven't drank soda in so long, except for like twice a week. I go to the Chews over there and I get a styrofoam tall boy of Coke Zero. And all of a sudden, I used to hate any diet sodas.
Now you haven't had it in so long, you can't remember.
I don't. That's all I know now.
Every time I take a sip of a Coke, 'cause I don't drink Coca-Cola at all or Dr. Pepper. I'll drink ginger beer and ginger ale.
It is jolting.
I'm like, ooh, it hits you. But if you get McDonald's Coke, 'cause they have their special Coke.
The wide straw.
Yeah.
Apparently,
they have their own recipe. They have like the
The ice,
specific.
the straw, all of it's meant to melt a certain way.
Yeah, they've.
it's cool from the truck all the way from the rooter to the tutor.
Yeah.
They got that thing. So we had one of our Coke guys come in. Coca-Cola, not the other Coke guys. We had one of the
I
Coca-Cola
was
guys
wondering how
come
long
in.
it would take to get from Diet Coke to
He goes,
Diet Coke.
He goes, you mean Ritalin? No. Someone goes, hey, you got any Diet Coke? I was like, yeah. He goes, no, the other one, Adderall.
That is Diet Coke.
Yeah.
That is Diet Coke.
So the guy comes in and he's adjusting our soda versus syrup. And he goes, yeah, I want the McDonald's mix.
What? He put it on the gun just for tasting?
Yeah, well, he was just
For a
like,
second.
twist a screw here, pull a knob here. All of a sudden we had it's not the real Coca-Cola or the McDonald's mix because McDonald's keeps their syrup cold, their water cold from, like I said, rooter to the tutor.
But you had that little taste of heaven for a second?
Boy.
It's making you look around now. You all right?
Boy.
Yeah, I can't. I don't go to McDonald's very often, especially after my Big Mac incidents. All 5 of them.
That was impressive.
Yeah, it was.
Well, you know what actually kind of turned me? After I had the Corvid going to Macon, when Macon, the city gave me COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Macon gave me COVID.
Not really, but yeah.
Not really, but I've started feeling it when I was there. When I got over COVID and the first time, I was like, I'm going to goddamn McDonald's and I'm getting a Coca-Cola. And I took a sip of it and it tastes like burnt popcorn.
Oh, yeah, you talked about that.
It was the saddest.
I didn't lose any senses.
Really.
Just a direction.
Just my sense. SINCE.
All right, Honky Jim.
Honky Jim signing out. I guess we're going to just tell y'all goodbye.
Yeah, we're not going to do what we did the first time, but we're going to do a little quick Patreon.
Yeah, we'll do a quick Patreon after
we'll
this.
talk about somebody doing LSD and going to see Saving Private Ryan.
Ooh, that sounds nice. All right, we got an F count. We got Clint with 3 Fs. Paxton with 2 Fs. Pretty unremarkable. Kelly.
I didn't fucking say it
He didn't
once.
fucking say it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening this week. We are on Instagram. It is go to theinstagram.com /from on the barcast. If you want to buy any used products, go to theelectronicbay.com.
Go subscribe to our Patreon to hear somebody talk about almost freaking out on acid.
Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, From Behind the Barcast.
We hit the Hondo.
That's great. We want to try and push it to 1,000. If we get to 1,000, we'll do a giveaway. Also, we're on Facebook. And if you want to support the show, patreon.com/From Behind the Barcast, which we will be going into right now. Thank you so much for listening. We love you, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you, Clint.
Yeah, thank you too, Honky Jim.
And we'll give you the Atlanta au revoir.